Yo guys, what is going on? Nickname is just Yellow, and today this Norwegian hardcore PC gamer is gonna talk about randomness in the sense of being overly aggressive or passive, or rather defensive whenever you want to play CSGO, you know? So whenever you're in a gunfight, you can take a couple of stances against the targets. You can either be overly offensive, which is not that rational to do, because then you're in some scenarios, in which can be the most lethal if you're not expecting somebody to do it, you can and will leave the cover, and you're essentially going overly aggressive towards the target, in which you're not only baiting yourself, but there's something about you, whether or not you're being overly foolish or confident, in which you're taking on the enemy and you're essentially baiting with your entire being your own baiter, and that way you can actually kill the enemy because he might be overly confident about that. However, what people will do at lower ranks is outright this right here, and it can take a lot of people that will be close to the highest skill at the game. They will be caught off guard by this, okay? So essentially you might be sneaking around there and suddenly somebody know that you're there, so they're gonna be all like, you know, by just spraying and being a complete moron with the P90, you know? Classic move by a couple of lower skill players. Now, it's not technically a wrong move if you know what you're doing, however, the weapon for the cause is not really that great, and on top of that, how do you deal with it and how do you execute it better if you decide to go for it, alright? Because if you know that that guy that want to run this little path right over here to the side and plant in a safe spot, if you know that he might do that, and you suddenly are like, you know what, I want that angle instead, because that way I can also look further down there, and that means that I can look close to the monster tunnel and get, you know, more ground covered if I'm the last guy left, for example. This can be done in so many places and areas, but mainly what you then want to do is, you know, not only pre-fire as should be normal, but you want to, you know, counter tap so you stand still fast and actually have a decent weapon when you do it. Now, it can be really risky, so personally I would recommend to have some kind of flashbang. You can throw these in a, you know, a lot of different ways, everything from a little jukey right click one in which you can run with it, twirl around and then look, depending on time and place or whatever you want to do, or you can outright throw it behind you, which is something that is not that uncommon either, because it's behind you, you won't see it, and yeah, you can mix it up however you would like it to be done, you know. You could even use this little bridge right here to screw with their visuals as well. So just try and keep in mind, if you have extra resources and you want to peek out, that could be better. What I personally would recommend if you have no resources is to take the outer path rather than the closer up one, because that way the horizon won't, you know, it won't swirl out, it won't appear as fast to you, and that means that, like, when you're now shoulder peeking, the enemy essentially get more time by having a visual view than you get to have a visual of him, right? Because he can see your shoulder as you appear. Only first when you're all the way out, you will be able to see him, while he get extra milliseconds to see your lovely right shoulder, or left, depending on time and place. So what I would rather recommend is to, whenever you get the chance, take the outer route. I've made another video about that, and if you then want to do the old spray, normally you should probably have a long-range weapon. If not, pistols can be accurate enough, so it depends on what you have. So that is essentially how you want to do the YOLO play if you really want to do it. If you want to do the defensive play, essentially what you're doing should just be in the kind of opposite way. Now, the annoying part, but it's also a learning curve, and it's one of the things that you will overcome as you get better at CS, is how to deal with it. Essentially, the only thing you can do with somebody just running across this kind of lane right here is that you need to be able to manhandle them. You need to be able to get a spray that is so good that you can not only follow him if you want to spray, for example, but you will kill him as soon as possible. That, or you can essentially just try and, you know, do small bursts against his torso, because in this game, the more you get hit, the more you slow down to like 75% of movement speed. So regardless of whatever kind of weapon he might have, any hits is incredibly useful right here, and even more so if you have no clue what he's doing, you're probably going to be able to kill him, and even more so if you only tap a couple of times in the earlier stage in which he might run out, and then if or when he decides to stop, now you can also go down into spray and he will get obliterated. It's really hard to be able to time these things, and they happen rather randomly, but if you're really skilled and you figure you want to go for a couple of pugs or you know, you want to commit the biggest crime and you want to go and play on a smurf, and you meet people that are overly confident, and they half of the time they don't know what they're doing, and they're just like, la 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 la, oh my god, oh look, a triple kill. Yeah, this is probably gonna be the best way you can deal with that. So yeah, best recipe for success here is just a lot of practice and play the environment a little bit better, even though again pistols here will obviously wreck everything, but that's CS for you. So anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned something about how to play defensive or aggressive depending on time and place and equipment. If you want to support the channel, and or you want to see more videos like like these, and thus learn more about CS, you can subscribe and or support the channel over the Patreon, stuff in the description below. Anyways, thanks for watching, and have a nice day, and don't get beastyfied when you play, people.